Hi children, welcome to online class of Natural Science of the lesson Animal Fiber. Okay, let's start our lesson. Before entering into the topic of our lesson today, we'll recall what we have completed till now. So, you have studied about the manufacture of the silk, isn't it? So, we get silk from silk moth. That its scientific name is Bombyx mori, isn't it? So, what is the name of the lesson that we are really studying about? It is animal fiber. And the topic is about the silk we have so far covered. Manufacture of the silk, isn't it? So, we get silk from the silk moth. Its scientific name is Bombyx mori. So, it has how many stages? 4 stages in its life cycle. What are the 4 stages of life cycle of silkworm, children? It is egg, larva, pupa and imago stages. Eggs. Silk moth lays 500 eggs in one row and dies. So then when it lays the eggs, they are being kept on a wire mesh and they are allowed to eat when they grow into the larva stage. They are allowed to supply with the mulberry leaves, as I said to you earlier. So they eat the mulberry leaves and try to grow. So after 30 to 35 days of the larva stage, they have developed. They stop eating the mulberry leaves and try to secrete a fluid around its mouth, and which when exposed to air becomes strong. Air and heat becomes strong, okay, and this is called as cocoon stage, or it is also called as pupa stage. So in the pupa stage itself, the silkworm weavers try to get the silk. If it transfers to the larva stage, that is adult stage, what happens? If it transfers to adult stage, then the continuous silk thread cannot be obtained. Why is it so? Why the silkworm weavers store the cocoons? How they store the cocoons for the longer period, and why do they store the cocoons for the longer period? They store the cocoons in order to get the silk fiber and not to change its lifestyle, so that is life from the cocoon stage to adult stage. If it transforms into the adult stage, the thread will be broken and we cannot get the continuous silk thread. In such a case, so the silkworms or the cocoons of the silkworms are being stifled. So you have already learned what is stiffling process and what is reeling process. Stiffling process is a process in which the larva of the silkworms is being killed in the cocoon stage. The larva is killed, the larva of the cocoon inside the cocoon that is present inside the cocoon is killed so as to get the continuous silk thread. If the larva is not killed, it transforms into moth and pierces out of the moth and comes out and spoils the cocoon. In such a case, you cannot get the continuous silk thread. So, cocoons are to be stifled. So, cocoons are stifled in order to store them for a longer period. Why are cocoons stifled? Cocoons are stifled in order to store them for the longer period. Okay children? Next, after the stiffling process, the cocoons are being boiled in a steam bath, that is a water bath, in order to make the fibers loosened. Then the one end of it is being identified and rolled over the spools in order to get they are being rotated over in the reeling centers. They are being rotated over the reeling machines or twisters, and in order to weave the fiber to get the fabric. Okay children, so after reeling, they are dyed with dyeing agents that are required with the required colors or the required dyes, and then they are being supplied to the weaving centers in order to weave the fabric. In such a manner, the production of the silk fabric is present in different places in our country, as I have said in the previous class, like Kanchipuram, Banaras, Kottakota, Dharmavaram, Pochampalli and so on. You know that Pochampalli or Dharmavaram are famous for silk industries. Pochampalli and Dharmavaram. Especially now in Andhra Pradesh, Dharmavaram silk. Dharmavaram silk is famous. In Telangana, Pochampalli silk is famous. Okay, they get the name by the place in which they are being manufactured. So Kanchi silk Kanchipuram, it is being manufactured in that place, so it gets the name by its place as Kanchipuram silk. And Pochampalli silk, the place where it has been manufactured so far, it gets the name by that place in itself. And Pochampalli silk and Dharmavaram silk, if you see, so you can observe the differences over there. You can in Pochampalli find the tie and dye process. Tie and dye process is being seen in Pochampalli silk sarees or silk variety. Dharmavaram silk has a big border or broad border with booties. Broad border with booties here and there. So these are the differences between the Pochampalli silk and the Dharmavaram silk. Okay, children, and there are silk varieties so far, various varieties, types from the types of silk that are being produced. They are Eri silk, Muga silk, as I said to you earlier, Muga silk, Eri silk, Tassar silk, Tassar, Muga, Eri, Kosa. These are the types of silk varieties. That is, they are the varieties of silk that are being produced. Okay, children. And so, silk is used to make the products like satin and crepe also. These are used to make the satin or crepe varieties also. Now that you get in the market, satin varieties or crepe varieties also are produced from the silk fabrics. Okay, children, this is about the silk. It is mostly used for the occasional use and it's very costly. Silk is very costly because of its procedure that is being made or manufactured. The people who are working in the silk industry suffer mainly from the skin problems and respiratory problems. Both skin and respiratory problems are faced by the people who work in the silk industry, and it is a laborious process in which it is being involved in the manufacture of the silk fabric, from starting from the egg stage to the obtaining of the fabric and also the stitched clothes that are being produced. It is a very laborious process in which it is being maintained. So far I have explained you about the production of the silk from the silk fabric. To say so, the silk and the story of the silk, if you want to know, then if it is that the silk is mainly produced in the China first. So the silk industry, mostly we can say that the silk was started first in China. So it is the first place in the world. So where the silk was produced. How it began, to say so, I'll read a simple story so that you can understand that how the silk was produced in the world. Chinese traditions, along with the writings of the Confucius, tell the same. That is, in the 2700 BC, there was a tale, that is a story about the silk. It states that the Empress Li Zhu, that is Si Lingxi was an empress of the Chinese empress, was having tea one day under the mulberry tree with her husband Emperor Huangxi when a silkworm cocoon fell into her cup. So when an empress was taking tea under a mulberry tree, so a silkworm cocoon fell into her cup of tea. So what happened? In an attempt to take it out, the thread of the cocoon began to unroll. So the empress thought of weaving the thread. So what happened? Cocoon fell into the cup of the empress, and then it started to unroll. So the emperor encouraged his wives to study the life of the silkworm, and so she learned the art of raising the silkworms, or what is called as sericulture. Now you know, obtaining silk or the process of obtaining silk, the process of obtaining and rearing the silk, the process of rearing silk is called as sericulture. Rearing silk is called sericulture. The process of rearing silk involved in obtaining silk from the silkworms. The process involved in obtaining the silk by rearing the silkworms. It is called as sericulture. Rearing the silkworms. Rearing the silkworms. For obtaining silk. The process of rearing of silkworms. For obtaining silk. Why you are rearing the silkworms? For obtaining silk. It is called as sericulture. Process of rearing of silkworms for obtaining silk is called as sericulture. What is sericulture? Rearing of silkworms to obtain silk. It is called as sericulture. So here her finding was taught as well, and thus the advent of the silk industry. So the finding of, so first where was the silk industry first found out, or it was improvised in China first. So the world famous silk, it was the silk industry was started mainly in China, we say. However, archaeological evidences show that the origin of silk industries traces back to 3000 and 5000 BC. The sites of Yangsha culture in Xia country, Shanxi, reveal a cocoon of Bombyx mori or a domesticated silkworm along with the silk weaving looms. So we can say that the silk industries was first prominent in China. Okay children, so now you will learn about the woolen industry, that is rearing of wool or the production of woolen fabric from the wool, how it take place. So what are the various steps involved in the manufacture of woolen fabric? So production of woolen fabric. In today's class, I am going to explain you about the production of woolen fabric. Production of woolen fabric. As you very well know that wool is produced from various animals like sheep, goat, camel, llama, etc. Yak and all. These are the animals from where camel also. You get the wool. Angora goat also produces the wool for us. So what are the various places in our country where the wool is being produced? So wool is produced in various places of our country like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Uttaranchal or the Sikkim, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. So note down the places children where the woolen fabrics are being produced. Places in our country. Places in our country where wool is produced. Wool is produced. Note down. First one is Jammu and Kashmir. Okay children, it is Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, Uttaranchal. Note down children the places where you get Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat. Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Okay, these are the places where you find the woolen, so where you find the wool mostly in our country. Okay, next. So production of woolen fabric, as I said you earlier, involves various steps. What are the various steps involved in the production of woolen fabric? They are production of woolen fabric. First one is shearing. flow chart for you so that you can understand clearly. Next, shearing, sorting, scoring, after shearing it is scoring, shearing, scoring, sorting, next combing or carding, next dyeing, rolling and twisting. So you get the shearing, scoring, sorting, bleaching. Children, here it comes the bleaching. Bleaching, dyeing. Sixth one is combing or carding, rolling or twisting. Then comes the rolling or twisting, spinning, rolling or twisting. Next, weaving or knitting. And lastly, you get the woolen fabric. So understanding about each and every step gives you how the woolen fabric is being obtained for us. So first stage is shearing process. In shearing process, the wool is being removed, that is the fleece. The fleece is the hair of the sheep or goat or any animal is being removed from the animal skin, that is skin, with the help of a razor, especially in the spring season, so that it is not affected with the atmospheric conditions. Okay, so with the help of a razor it is being sheared out, it is removed. Removing the fleece of the animal is called as shearing process. Okay, fleece on the skin of the animal is called as shearing process. It is done with the help of a razor. Then scoring. Scoring means washing the fleece with the help of the chemicals. In chemical water it is being washed. The fleece is being washed to remove the dirt or grease present inside the fleece. It is being washed. That is called as scoring process. Next, after scoring process, the sorting process is done to classify or to sort out the fibers into long, short, fine, coarse or quality one. So based on the variety of the fleece that is produced by the animal, it is being sorted out into different varieties and kept in a form of the piles, and it is being sorted out in this sorting process. Later, it is being bleached. The color is being removed so that you want the color to be dyed is being implemented over it. So first bleaching is done for the fleece that you get from the animal after sorting out. Then the bleached fibers are being dyed with the color that is being wished for. Okay, next after dyeing process, the knots are being formed over the fleece. So in order to remove the knots, they are being combed properly or corded or cleaned without any sticks or any leaves, anything present inside it, or being removed and cleaned properly. Then spinning. Spinning process is the process of getting the fiber, that is from the yarn is the process of getting the yarn from the fiber. Twisting of the fibers is called as the spinning process. It is done over the takli or charka in the homemade process, or now the spinning mills are also being used for spinning process. Later, the spun yarn is being rolled over or twisted over the spools in order to make them fit over the harness, over the weaving machine in order to get the fabric. So they are being rolled over the twisters, and then they are being over the weaving machines, or even the wool are being knitted by the help of the knitting needles. So first you write down the production of the woolen fabric as a flow chart, one after the other, children, in your notebooks, so that you can understand clearly, and I'll explain you clearly about each one of them. Note down first. Apart from weaving, knitting is also a process that is used in the weaving the fabric of the wool. So this is a wool, children, that we get after the spinning. This is the wool that you get. So these are the knitting needles. So what you do, you make knots with the help of the wool. If you take a piece of wool, you can make knots and loops over the knitting needles. Take a needle and put a knot over the needle like this. Okay, you can put a knot like this and several knots to get a fabric. So you have to knit the fabric. So this is the process of knitting, usually done as a homemade process and handmade process. It is a handmade process of getting a fabric from the wool. Okay, so woolen fabrics are being knitted in this method. So after forming the knots, each you will be removing the loop from the knot and getting into the other needle like this. You are being, see here children, the knot is being introduced and the needle is introduced inside, and remove the loop from the inside the needle so that it is being caught into the other needle like this. So easily you can put the knots and take it over the needles. Okay children. So this is the way in which the loops are taken from one needle to the other needle, forming knots and loops. So this is how the woolen fabric is being made. Okay children, and now you observe clearly about the various steps involved in the production of woolen fabric. First one is shearing. What do you mean by shearing process? Shearing process is removing the fleece from the animal skin in order to get the fleece, that is fibers or the fleece from the animal. It is done in which season? Autumn or spring season only. Autumn or spring season only. Otherwise the skin of in summer season it is being protected with the hair it has. So it has to be cut or removed in the spring season. Next, scoring process. Scoring process is the process in which it involves the cleaning of the fleece with the help of the chemical water. And next, why is it done? In order to remove the grease or dirt. Scoring process is done. Next, sorting process. In sorting process, the fleece is being sorted out or classified into short or long, or it is fine or coarse, smooth or rough. In these varieties, you can sort it out through by touch or by feel. You can see it and sort it out and put them into different piles. Next, bleaching. Removing the color of the fleece. It is called as bleaching process. Next, dyeing process. Dyeing process is the coloring the yarn. So next, combing and carding process is done with the help of the carding machines. Combing machines are being used. In fact, you can see the picture of the combing machine in your textbook, children. It is clearly given over there for you. This is the combing machine. See here, children. This is the combing machine. Okay. So in fact, you can observe this, and afterwards, spinning is done on the spinning machines, or takli or charka is also used to spun into yarn. The yarn produced is rolled over the spools, and it is rolled over the spools, and this process is continued with the weaving or knitting. The knitting involves the knitting needles, and the weaving is done over the weaving machines. Okay, so you know very well that looms are used for weaving process. In last year only, you have studied about the weaving machines. So weaving is a process of obtaining the that is the interlacing of the warp threads and the weft threads. As I said you earlier, what is spinning process? And what is weaving process? Spinning process is the process of obtaining the yarn from the fiber. Process of obtaining the yarn from the fiber is called as spinning process. What is spinning process? Process of obtaining yarn from fibers. It is called as spinning process. What is weaving process? Interlacing of warp and weft threads. Interlacing of warp threads, that is transverse threads and vertical threads. Warp threads and weft threads by fitting over a harness in a loom. By fitting over a harness in a loom, it is called as weaving process. Okay, children. So, woolen fabrics are stretched from top of the loom to the bottom, and these are called the warp threads. As I said you earlier, top to bottom, which are fitted to the loom, over the loom. These are called as warp threads. And the horizontal threads that are fitted, the threads that go side to side are called weft threads. So the threads that are from top to bottom, they are called as weft threads. And the threads that go side to side, these are called as warp threads. These are warp threads and weft threads. Warp threads are which go from top to bottom and from side to side, and weft threads are the threads which go from top to bottom. The threads that go side to side are called weft threads, and the threads that go from top to bottom of the loom, they are called as warp threads. Okay, children? So this is the difference between the warp threads and weft threads. So one important part of the loom is harness. The harness lifts every other warp threads so that the weft threads goes one under the next. So harness is harness is being fitted into the loom. It lifts. The harness is another word that you have to be familiar with in this loom is harness and shuttle. These are the two words, warp thread, weft thread. Weft threads are vertical threads, and the warp threads are the threads that move in the horizontal manner. So you can see, it's been confused over. Top to bottom are called as warp threads. These are warp threads, and horizontal threads are called as weft threads. Okay, children, warp threads and weft threads. And a harness. Harness is that it lifts every other warp thread. It lifts every other warp thread one over the other of the weft thread like this over. Is it clear, children? So the harness lifts every other warp thread so that the weft thread go one over the other to the next. So all the types of the yarn, whether